Coming to the stage now, Jake Quanbeck. Come on down.
This mic stands at a great height. Thank you. Okay. I told him, whatever you do, bring me up with a pen joke. That's what the people like nowadays. That's what the kids are telling. Let's get into it, folks. Let's see. I've been doing some dating, and it blows my mind the things that people will tell you on a first date. I met this woman on a dating app. We go out to meet each other, and she says, there's something I want you to know right now. Okay, I want you to know right now that the only reason I get on these dating apps is so that I can get off. Hell yeah. Yeah, me too. Look, I'm trying to get off. You're trying to get off. We're all trying to get off over here. Okay, let's have a beer first. Settle down. Yeah, I've been dating a Colombian woman for a while now, and when you're a comic dating a Colombian woman, it's a real blessing. For a number of reasons. Namely, I get to make, if we stay together, I get to make Colombian women versus coffee jokes for the rest of my life. You know, we wake up in the morning, she says, baby, how do you like your coffee? I say, I like my coffee like I like my women. A little bitchy. That's how I like it. That's not rude. That's how I like it. She likes that joke. I love that joke. Her dad's never gonna hear that joke. So far, he likes me. Okay. We've had a lot of sex talk today. I'm gonna ask you folks, is there any chance anybody here identifies as a sapiosexual? Fair response. Is there any chance anybody here has no fucking idea what that word means? Yeah. So now that we have 52 words to explain your sexuality, a sapiosexual is somebody who defines himself as being attracted to another person based off of their mind and their personality. Yeah, me, I'm old-fashioned. I find another person attractive based off of whether or not they are attractive. That's how I do it. I'm a real kinky boy. That's how I do it. I have a friend that loves to tell people he's a sapiosexual, and I don't believe him because his wife is smoking hot. You can't have a hot wife and tell everybody you're a sapiosexual. I said, come on, man, you guys aren't sapiosexuals. You gotta tell me when you want to get in the mood, you put on Jeopardy. That's what you guys do. You just read books and finger each other. That's what's going on in your apartment. I don't think you jack off to your wife's SAT scores. I call bullshit. I said, listen, man, if you're a sapio, I'm a sapio. Sure. He said, have you ever been attracted to another person's mind? I've met some personalities so bad they killed my boner. I think that's pretty much the same thing. So I asked my friend, I said, are you gay now? He said, what? I said, I'm smarter than you. Is this doing it for you? Are you aroused right now? He said, no, I don't really find the male body type to be attractive. Oh, so you're a liar. You're just a big, horny liar, just like the rest of us. Okay. Also, I always wonder, how does it work if somebody is a sapiosexual but they have like a learning disability? They just walk around all day hard as a rock like everybody's so much smarter than me. Oh my God, I love this. People are so smart. I can't believe that's their preferred title. That's the name you're gonna go with, sapiosexual. And then we in the gang thought that sounded a little bourgeois. It's got 6 syllables on it. You're gonna come out bragging about having a good minds over there. Sounds like you only fuck people on the paleo diet. Sounds like you got a sock drawer filled with KY jelly and Fred Flintstone costumes. That's silly. Now, you know, I don't mean to sound too spiteful here. I'm not saying you couldn't be a sapiosexual. I'm not saying those don't exist. It's a big world out there. What I'm saying is that if you're a man, how dare you think we're all just going to take it at face value when you say the same lie the rest of us ran into the ground for the last million years? If you're a man and you want me to just believe you when you say you're a sapiosexual, you better have the ugliest partner I've ever seen. You better be dating somebody so ugly it demands an explanation. You better be dating an old sea captain missing an eye, loose chum in his beard. And when somebody says, hey, what does your friend see in that guy? Apparently he's got a sexy brain. I did a show for a booker the other day, and he said, kid, I like your material, but when you're on stage, you don't have a likable personality. Oh, that's great news. Here I was worried you might say something to hurt my feelings. I said, you're telling me the only problem is who I am as a person? That shouldn't be hard to keep inside forever at all. Okay, good to be here. Thank you, sir. It's very helpful. Very helpful. Very helpful. So I've been trying to learn how to be more likable. I actually don't usually share that much about myself up here. So I thought maybe you people would like me better if I opened up and told you a little bit about myself. How do you feel about that? I once played an African slave in an elementary school play. Anybody? Seriously, anybody? Seriously, anybody? Anybody? I'm going to keep telling this joke till somebody has had this experience. That's pretty embarrassing, right? I'm uncomfortable. You know what's worse than that? I forgot that happened for about 25 years. I buried the shit out of that one. A friend of mine asked me if I ever did any acting. I said, no, I'm a comic. The only acting I ever did was, oh, good God. You really suppressed the shit out of that one, didn't you? He said, you played an African slave in a school play? I said, I think so. He said, were there any black kids at your school? No, weird, right? You think families would be relocating to put their children in our sweet, all-white slave play school? No. Then he asked the tough question, right? He said, you didn't wear blackface, did you? Hear how quiet it is. I said, no, but that's the scary part, right? I was 9 years old. I didn't know anything. They told me to put some stuff on my face, so I had to put it on my face. I feel like the only reason they didn't was because it was a very redneck town and most people just thought makeup was gay. So for that brief window in time, I think they were just too homophobic to be racist. Thank God. All right, last joke before I get out of here. I actually figured out why we named it homophobia. She's worried already. Did you ever wonder why it's such a goddamn big word? It's Latin, it's all scientific, and I've thought about it for years. I actually cracked the code. I figured out why we named it homophobia. You know why? Because it would have been too confusing if we named it gayist. See? Right? If you have a problem with other races, what do we call you? A racist, right? If you have a problem with the opposite sex, we call you a sexist. We named it homophobia because it'd be too confusing to try to live in a world where somebody says, yeah, you gotta watch out for Carl. He's the gayest around here. You would be sitting up at night trying to figure out ways that mean Carl's anti-gay? Or is he just the most gay? I told this guy I'd go to his barbecue on the weekend. Holy shit, what are we getting into here? Rainbow flags or Confederate flags? Drag queens, drag races? I gotta start asking more questions. All right, that's it for me, folks. Thank you very much.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Well done, Jake.